Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear fellows, this lecture is basically the continuation of the series of taxation lectures, and in this lecture we will discuss the wires of section 111 of Income Tax Ordinance 2001. So why the section number 111 is introduced, is inserted under Income Tax Ordinance, and what is its scope? This section 111 is basically deals with unexplained income or assets. So wherever the commissioner or the authorized entity finds any discrepancy in the record maintained by the taxpayer or the non-taxpayer, then the FBR is entitled to serve that taxpayer with the notice under section 111. So the authority can send the notice under the order proceedings or otherwise. Now we look at what are those circumstances when the FPR is entitled to hold the proceeding and serve the taxpayer with the notice under section 111. So the head of section 111 is unexplained income or assets. So it can be construed from the word unexplained income or asset that the authority can be invoked by the um, Federal Board of Revenue whenever they find that the declaration of the person is unexplained and not definitive. So what are those conditions? When the amount credited in person's book of account and the person doesn't have any justification regarding the credit of that account. Justification in this context, that he doesn't have the source to describe the amount which is credited in the person's book of account. Secondly, the person made any investment but he doesn't have any source to justify that investment. Thirdly, when the person incurred any expenditure. So the person incurred any expenditure, but when the FBR asks that person that what is the source of that expenditure, then he has a failure to provide a chain process to that expenditure. And fourthly, the person has concealed income or furnished inaccurate particulars. So inaccurate particular is a very big debatable issue, that what is accurate and what is inaccurate. I'm of the view that accurate particulars are those which always stand in corroboration with the realistic figures. So wherever any contravention, any anomaly is observed by the FPR or by any other authorized entity working under income tax ordinance, then they have the right to serve the taxpayer with the notice under section 111. And what if the taxpayer is served with the notice? The game doesn't end here. If the taxpayer subsequently, after the receipt of notice, justify the figures as contended under the notice, then such proceedings under section 111 will be stopped. And if there is a failure on the part of the taxpayer to provide any substantial piece of evidence, then proceedings will be concluded by the commissioner entitled under the income tax ordinance. So the journal purview is given under the wires of section 111, which is required to be observed by the taxpayer as well as by the Federal Board of Revenue before service of the notice to the taxpayer. So, dear fellows, we should need to be careful at the time of declaration of our income, at the time of declaration of our assets, and our declaration should stand in consonance, should stand in accordance with the provisions provided under income tax ordinance. So some of the time I have observed that people have uh, up to mark record, but they do not incorporate such record in the income tax return, and consequently they charge with the penalties. So if you need any kind of assistance in this regard, then my phone number is available at the bottom, and contact anytime for bringing transparency, for bringing uniformity in your record. Thank you very much. Stay blessed. Allah Hafiz.